Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. Now, before we get to the actual franchise mode and talk about our Stanley Cup Finals loss, this is the only place I get to talk about everything. I don't post any other videos yet. I'm sure somewhere down the road I will start doing podcasts and such, but at this point in time, this is my only outlet. At the time I'm recording this, about half an hour ago, the sports world went to absolute crap. So when you're watching this, it'll be 24 hours or around 20 hours when you see this go live. Right? So let's talk about it. I only know the information shown to me on the internet right now. So as it stands right now, the NBA canceled their season. And you might be wondering, well, why does that affect you? Well, you see, the NBA is a bigger league. It's tenfold bigger than the NHL. The NHL is another major North American sport, just like the MLB, just like the NFL. Now, that's a bit of a situation. That is huge. I read that. I'm like, the NBA canceled their season. Now, about 10 minutes before they canceled, or around there, the commissioner said, or no, not the commissioner canceled it. Before that, the Utah Jazz player, Rudy Gobert, if you don't know who that is, go Google it. He tested positive for COVID-19. And if you don't know what COVID-19 is, that's coronavirus. And I can't wait to look back on this in a few years and be like, damn, that was absolutely nuts. But as it stands, it's kind of crazy. He tested positive. He had preliminary testing, and he tested positive for that. After they canceled the game, the Utah Jazz versus, I want to say, the Oklahoma Thunder. Oklahoma? Oakland? Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm right. It's nuts. And that means that, the NHL started talking about potentially canceling the rest of the season, and before this video went out, the San Jose Sharks, the Columbus Blue Jackets already said the rest of their home games are going to be played without fans, and with one of the NBA's stars getting this virus, shows that it doesn't matter what you do. This is just going to run through your system. I know this is pretty dreary way to start this. I know you might have already clicked off, but it's important because that means that the NHL season is probably done, which is just depressing as a huge hockey fan. Even though my favorite team is nowhere near the playoffs, it sucks to see a bunch of these guys not get a chance. And I know their safety is of the utmost importance, and all the people surrounding them, right? As a hockey fan, this is heartbreaking. When I know the lockouts happened, but this is like the lockout, but worse. I know it's no laughing matter, but it's a terrible situation. But that is not going to stop me from posting here on my YouTube channel every day. And in brighter news, even though it probably isn't making anybody happy, at the time of recording, I'm about 1 subscriber away from 300. I appreciate all your guys' support. I haven't recorded in a few days. I pre-recorded a bunch of episodes, the playoffs to be exact. And it's nice getting back, but it feels weird. I'm not canceling anything. No, this is going strong until something completely takes me out of it. Like coronavirus. But just wash your hands, folks. That's all I'm saying. Just wash your freaking hands. I know you came here to watch NHL 20, and you're going to watch that. You're going to see the draft. We're going to get through all of that. I just thought I'd talk about that because it's relevant to sports. It's not like I'm talking about politics. That's one thing. And I don't want to even get into politics because that's a crazy field, and this is NHL. This is a game. And hey, you're staying home because Corona has shut down everything in your life, watch me. Watch my old Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode. Watch this. I'm posting every day, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. Every day. It's not like it changes every day. It's like, when's the video going up, Owen? It's going up 3 p.m. every single day until farther notice. Now, I'm done talking about that. Let's just talk about the Stanley Cup Finals in this franchise mode. The year is 2024. The Minnesota Wild just lost in game number 6 to the New York Islanders, losing 4 in a row in the Stanley Cup Finals. We won game 1 and we won game 2 pretty handedly. I mean, I know game 1 was 3-2 win. Then we shut them out, and then no help, no offense. None. We scored, I want to say that's six goals in 4 games. It's unacceptable, especially with our star guys. I'm going to get into the stats, but up until this point, we were so dominant. We had our iffy spots, but I knew with our offensive capabilities and solid goaltending, we could have got it done. And you can see those last 4 games there, our goaltenders tried as hard as they could. I know there were a few iffy periods for our goaltenders. We did end up going with Ben Bishop in the last game, which you guys can debate that he's not our future. Weeman is. It's the first ever big run for the Minnesota Wild. This is only the start of something really good, and I know we're going to be back here potentially next season. But that is a crippling loss to the Islanders. I thought we were a better all-around team. They had their stars, obviously, but our guys just didn't show up. And I don't even have a roster sheet filled out, but I'm just going to go off of the guys that I have here penciled in from last season because there are a few changes I want to make. And we're going to get into all those guys, but before that, we're going to talk about the stats, and that might lead to a few discussions. Now, obviously, we had a few guys just go off this postseason. We had a guy like Anthony Francis, 39 points in 22 games. 39 points in 22 games. He had over an assist a game. First round, he was over a point per game player, or just around there. And yes, my house is now making sounds. Thank you for whoever flushed the toilet. Appreciate that, but I'm going to continue. He was dominant. Okay, first round, solid. Second round got even better. Scored a hat trick in the game to clinch. He did that the first round as well. He was good up until the very end. Our top 3 guys were great. There's nothing more I can really ask from Kaprizov or Pietrangelo. It's just everybody lost their mojo in those last 4 games. We were 2 wins away from Minnesota's first ever Stanley Cup, and that's what hurts the most. 2 wins. 2 brutal wins. I think there were 2 one-goal games in those last 4 losses that we could have won. We could have easily have swept the Islanders. I thought we were rolling. We were. And just everybody was shut down. I'm not sure if that's just simulation, and that's the way it goes sometimes. I don't want to tear this team apart. We won 61 games this year. I'm not firing a coach. There might be a few guys gone just for cap reasons because a cap is getting a little difficult. It's just getting a little difficult with cap. We'll get to that, but that's a problem for a little bit down the road. I mean one episode really when we get to that whole situation. But this next year is going to be interesting. A lot of cap problems, especially Anthony Francis is coming off of his ELC. Somebody's going to have to get moved. Pasternak is probably that guy. I'm not sure where to go, but the right direction, I think, is not doing a whole lot. Simulation was just a thing that happened. It does happen sometimes. It just happens like that. I've played this game too many times to not know, or to not know that would happen. That happens sometimes. We had Columbus. We would win President's Trophies every year for like 10 years. Sometimes we would get swept in the first round. Sometimes we'd sweep the playoffs. Okay? It's NHL 20. This is not a masterpiece, but I get it. Sometimes hockey is like that. Sometimes the best don't win. Usually the best team in the NHL doesn't win the Stanley Cup. Rarely a President's Trophy winner wins the Stanley Cup, and this year was not our year. But the top three guys, there's nothing to say. A fantastic first season as the captain for Kirill Kaprizov. Alexei Petrangelov was great. He was a great defensive asset there in the top six. First line, left winger. He's going to get even better. And a guy that made me turn my head towards him and be like, I considered trading you earlier in the season to fix our roster. And I'm so glad I didn't do that. He was a huge part of our success. And I think going forward, he is going to be the perfect third line two-way forward for us. He's going to be a great centerman. He's going to be a good asset. He currently is a great asset for us. He put up more points than Pasternak, and that's a guy, 3 years. I wish I signed him to less. We might regret that very soon. He's a great player, but especially with cap problems, maybe we trade him away very, very soon. I'm not super sure about that. Luke Kunin, I really like, and I want to keep him on. Oh, $5 million for a third liner. This guy can play second or third line if we need him to. He's a great asset to this team. Pasternak, we already talked about. Kel Newman in his rookie season had a great season as a rookie, and in the postseason he did really well for us. It's not like he was a liability defensively. He was reliable. He was reliable. Sorry. He was reliable. He wasn't a nuisance. He didn't hurt us in any way, especially as a rookie, especially as a young scoring forward on the third line. That rarely happens. Same with Langweeder. He was really good as well. This tandem is going to be great going in the future. Hoglander, that second line had a lot of problems. I can see that clearly now. I don't know if we need to go out and make a mega trade for fantastic centerman. I think that's a thing that we might have to do, because I see Hoglander like 12 points in 22 games is not bad, but especially if we're paying you money, 4.4 is a really good contract, but you got to be better than that. The second line was nothing great. Borgstrom as a two-way forward, I expect you to be a plus player always. I know we acquired him, and I mean, Evgeny Malkin came back and he got hurt the game right away, tore something. He's going to be gone. We're not going to bring Evgeny Malkin back. Maybe there's going to be a centerman in free agency. Maybe we make a mega trade at the draft. But Borgstrom, I don't see us bringing him back if we don't have room. Jason Zucker was good in the role that he was playing. How much does he make? 2.6 over 2 years. I'd like to keep him on. Ryan Hartman was solid. Raymond might be the most disappointing forward in Minnesota's history as the highest. I can't recall a Minnesota Wild draft pick bust, but Lucas Raymond might be up there. He's still got great trade value. Maybe Pasternak and Raymond for a top tier centerman in the league. It could work, right? We'll just have to go out there and find it, especially with Newman coming into the top six. And we're lacking that second line center right now below Francis. Maybe that's a thing we consider and we look around the NHL for. And defense. Quinn Hughes eventually caught up in points with Brandt Clarke. He played one less game too. He was really good. Defensively, plus minus is not the best stat. I'll talk about that every time I talk about plus minus, but IRL, not the best stat to show what kind of player you are. But in this game, it shows you how you're doing simulating wise, but he was good. Brandt Clarke had his breakout season, 72 points. He might even steal a Norris from his counterpart in Quinn Hughes. He was so good. He had like over a point per game the majority of this postseason. He was so good. He led in points the first, maybe even second round. He was so dominant, and I like seeing that. Matthew Dumba. He scored the game winner in Game 6 against the Vancouver Canucks in the Western Conference Finals to send us to our franchise's first ever Stanley Cup final, and I appreciate that. 13 points in 22 games is what I expect for him, especially in his sheltered role there. I do sheltered role. He's playing top 2 minutes. He's playing in the top 2 as top tier defenseman. 13 points is not bad, especially when guys like Brant Clark and Quinn Hughes are doing really well. Marcus Mironov did dip off in points, but half a point per game in the playoffs as a defenseman and a plus 25 as an offensive defenseman is scary. You are a scary, scary hybrid in that sense. Rarely you see, if you don't see an offensive defenseman putting up points, they're not going to always have the best plus minus, but he wasn't putting up the best of points. 11 points is great, but it's nothing astronomical. Putting up plus 25 as a defenseman, especially with the amount of minutes he was playing, he was damn good, and I love that. I appreciate that. Thomas Hickey, I'm not sure if we'll bring him back, but he was a solid guy, and he wasn't a liability. Joe Hicketts, he wasn't terrible. Ryan Sutter is something that I didn't consider. He might even retire this year, and that contract might be gone. I might even consider buying him out just for cap's sake. It is hurting us a little bit. And goaltending. You know, Weeman was the man all postseason. I know he had a few weird games here and there, but he held us in crunch time. I think just the finals, all of us, I think the offense let him down. I know he wasn't great in some aspects, but he was our guy. He's our guy going forward. He's only going to get better. He's 22 as a high elite goaltender. He's only going to get better. Ben Bishop, I might consider trading him away if he doesn't retire, especially since he's making $5 million for 2 years. Weeman is the guy. I know I'm upset with our performances in the finals, but all around it was a good postseason, especially with our first ever actual run getting out of the first round. It was good. I don't plan on changing a whole lot, but if we need to change something, we will do it. The New York Islanders are your Stanley Cup champions. Obviously, I do want to stop and see if we acquired some awards. I'm assuming a lot of our guys are going to get a few awards. There's a few guys that are going to get a few awards. Okay, New York Islanders, Stanley Cup champions, Metropolitan teams getting the Stanley Cup 2 years straight. Eastern Conference, 3 years running. Good for them. President's Trophy, the Minnesota Wild. Clarence S. Campbell, obviously Minnesota. Prince of Wales, Islanders. Okay, individual awards. Your Art Ross winner, 2 years running. Anthony Francis by 1 point over Connor McDavid. Absolute beauty. Hart Memorial goes to Anthony Francis for the 2nd straight year. Can't get much better. James Norris goes to Quinn Hughes, and there was another guy there. I can't recall. It might have been Cale Makar who had a better plus minus, 72 points, but then you could have maybe considered Brant Clark. But Quinn Hughes, an absolute dominant season. I'm expecting bigger and better things from him. Lady Byng goes to Jesper Straka. Led in goals too, so he's winning that award as well. Great rookie season, and he wins the Calder as well. Conn Smythe goes to Patrice Bergeron. That's sad. Vezina goes to Carter Hart, 2 years running. Same with the William M. Jennings. Bill Masterton goes to Jake Dotchin. Jack Adams goes to McDermott. Frank J. Selke goes to Alexander Barkov. And Ted Lindsay goes to Anthony Francis, 2 years running. Maurice Richard Trophy goes to Jesper Straka. So we clean up in the awards section. Too bad we couldn't get the most important award of them all. It sucks, but it do be like that sometimes. The New Jersey Devils luck out with the first overall pick. Nashville drops from 1st to 2nd. New Jersey goes from 2nd to 1st. Okay, maybe we move up with the assets that we have. There are a few guys that I have in mind for us drafting. Obviously, we have this Rinksfeld guy who is a goalie. Says he's a high elite, but I doubt he will be a high elite. Obviously, I'll take a chance on him at 90th overall in the draft. Late second? Is that a late second? No, that's a late third. I'm terrible at math. Okay, there's a few guys around here that we could take a shot at. There's nobody in particular. I mean, maybe these two guys here. We do have a few first-round draft picks this year that we can extort for something pretty sick. I'm not sure. View retired players. Who's calling it quits this year? OV retires. I was going to say, oh my God. Alex Ovechkin retires with 896 goals. I think that is good. For most old time, I think that's by a little bit. He did retire early. I mean, 38 isn't early, but I've seen him go to like 42. 896 career goals. I'm pretty sure that's good for most old time. Or did he tie it? I gotta Google that just to know. Hold your god dang horses. Okay. Most goals. Come on, it's around there. If he just tied it in NHL history. Okay, it is 894. He beat it by 2. Absolute beauty. First ballot Hall of Famer. His buddy Nicholas Backstrom calls it quits. Too bad they couldn't finish out their careers together. Another Russian great, Ilya Kovalchuk, calls it quits on the Penguins. Ryan Getzlaf, Blake Wheeler, Zach Parise finally retires, getting that contract off the books for Detroit. Justin Williams, Paul Stastny, Mikko Koivu, sad to see you go. Duncan Keith, Alexander Steen, Ryan Sutter, that contract is gone. Hell yes, $7+ million for us. I mean, good career for you. Almost a Stanley Cup, but too bad. So long. Chris Letang. Oh man, Nick Foligno, Patrick Hornquist. A lot of players. A lot of guys calling it quits this year. A lot of mainstays in the NHL right now are just calling it quits. Any big goalies decide to hang him up? Henrik Lundqvist, if he's not already done. Henrik Lundqvist, 560 career wins. I think he finished... Oh, you couldn't play him in the Stanley Cup playoffs? You are evil. You're evil. Oh, you could have gotten him 1 or 2 games in there. Oh, poor guy. I mean, they'll probably give him a ring just because he's an absolute beauty, but did he really earn it, you know? Marc-Andre Fleury, 2 great... 2 first ballot Hall of Famers, Henrik Lundqvist, Marc-Andre Fleury, easily. Jonathan Quick, 2 Stanley Cups to his name. Semyon Varlamov, Corey Crawford, Halak, Howard, Talbot, Hudobin, Neuwirth. There's a lot of goalies. There's a lot of faces that are gone from the NHL that are really solid guys right now, and that does suck to see. I'm not going to go to the draft screen because it never helps. EA, fixed your game. It's time for the draft. I'm excited to see what we can do. Is there a pick up here on the board? That's Detroit 6. We have assets, and I think I have a few ideas of what to potentially do. There is a guy down here at Feld. Who's a 6 overall projected pick? I think it was Potvin. 5th. You got the Heiskanen guy. You got Prince. Honestly, if I were to move up, I'd only move up for the centerman or either of these defensemen. Right? I'm not super sure on either one of them. Okay, I'm gonna go to find trade because we do have our first round draft picks. We have 3 of them: 18th, 22nd, and 30th. We can move them around if we really, really feel like it, okay? Mironov with most trade value. Good for him. Absolute beauty. Now, I want to look at a man named Lucas Raymond. He's got plenty of trade value. I'm not really liking him. Let's see if we can move on from him. Is there a trade out here right now that would work for him? Oh, that's a trade and a half. The Detroit Red Wings would be willing to move that 6 overall pick and then their first next year. Detroit's a dumpster fire. We have to consider that. Wallstrom, nah. McCulley, first from St. Louis. Lambos, Lidman. Okay. Oh, I'm 100% considering that. I'm 100% considering that. Oh, man. 2 firsts. And this Gruey guy, 78 overall. This guy might even turn out to be something solid, too. And a 3rd. Detroit's a dumpster fire. I know it says they're a contender and they're getting Raymond, but they're a dumpster fire. You never freaking know. Oh, they got Archer and Vosnar. They're going to be a good team. But that 6 overall pick alone, adding another prospect to the system, we have to consider that, okay? We have a few minutes to decide. So I actually want to go and see... I want to check out the entire league, see if there's a potential trade we can make. I know New Jersey's going to make their pick here pretty soon. I want to go to Skaters matching the black. Okay, is there anybody out here that's interesting at all? Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Is there? I'm looking for a top-tier centerman. Really, I am. Kadri's a beauty. Nope. Just an offensive dynamo, because my top 6 is always going to be offensively reliable. They're going to have to be that solid. Anthony Francis, Kaprizov, Hoglander, Philip Danault's 80. Ah, damn it, Detroit. Oh, they picked Yoshimura. Beauty. Okay, where was I? I was on Danault's 89, and he's on the trade block. But that's just another two-way forward. I'm looking for just an offensively dynamite player. I am. That's what I'm honestly looking for at this time. If there's nothing out there, I mean, they got Kopitar, absolute beauty. Anything out in the world of hockey that we could potentially bring on. Anything at all. Anything. Carlson's a beauty. Too much cap, though, especially with our incoming cap problems. Tanev, no thank you. Gergenson's Winnipeg. Okay. Nothing there that I see, but I'm going to go to just all skaters because I usually trade from that screen. I usually make and base my trades around that. But if we make a deal that a team that they literally can't refuse, we'll do it. Anybody out here? Anybody in particular? Just a top tier centerman, and we can make that trade make sense. But God damn it! I traded Trevor Wong, but it was for Anthony Francis, so it makes sense. How are you doing? Oh, that upsets me. Oh, 51 points. Beauty. Okay, Aiku. Make him an offer he can't refuse, see? Could you imagine if we steal Eichel from the Sabres? Ooh, or Cousins, who is going to be a great NHL player one day, I believe. Beauty. Absolute. Where was he picked? 7th overall. People are going to notice him very soon in the NHL. Monahan? Meh, maybe. Frederick Darling, beauty. Nekis. Sebastian Aho? Oh, Sebastian Aho, $7 million for 1 year? That might be a deal to make. He's a what, a playmaker? Maybe. Oh, there's so many ideas out here. Cole Perfetti, Strome. Strome's only making 4. 8 next year, though. Ooh, not a fan. Because if we get Sebastian Aho, we can negotiate with him next year, right? So Nashville's about to pick. Still looking. Pierre-Luc Dubois would love to bring him over, but, we already had him in our last franchise mode. Tyler Seguin, maybe. I think it is okay. Julian goes 2nd overall. Still looking. I know we're already 30 minutes into this episode, and I still haven't made a pick. I'm sorry, everybody. What team was I on? I don't even know what team I was on. I want to say I was on Dallas. I mean, Jesus, Detroit. I would love to make a trade with you, but I also want it to be right. Carolina is looking very sweet right now. We would trade out of conference. We would give them a great deal. Barkov. But that's our franchise guy. Why would they do that? We have to look at the position that they're in right now, right? I don't want to trade in conference or in division at all because that would not be a smart idea in the slightest. Like, are you stupid? Jilovec, and they got Sugimoto. Okay, they got Matt Duchene. I'm just looking for a top-tier second-line center, or even that can play first. But we do have... Oh, Jack Hughes. At $9 million? You know what? That might make some sense because he got his brother over here in Quinn Hughes. How's he done offensively in his career so far? I think he just needs some new scenery. Do we reunite the brothers? Do we do it? What does it say he is? He's probably a playmaker, right? Oh, and they just got Yoshimura. That opens them up because they got Everberg, they got Hughes, they got Hishe, and Yoshimura. They need some space. I know they can play Hughes winger, but he's 23. He's making $9 million. We can bring him over. Guys, I think I just found the trade that we're gonna make. I think we just found it. I think we're gonna reunite the brothers because I don't ever do that in franchise modes. We gotta make it make sense, boys. That makes sense because they're in a position where they don't lack at centers at all. They don't. They don't. And I'm just looking around. I think that's a trade we're gonna go for. I honestly think that is a trade that we could go, and I'm willing to trade them Panarin. I know you're like, why would you do that? I think I'm willing to do that. I'm honestly willing to do that. I know you're like, Stone, what are you doing, Owen? Like, what are you on crack? No, I'm not on crack, guys. I'm not. That honestly makes sense because I never trade with teams if they don't want to trade a player. But if they want to make a trade... Okay. Dallas, they get Russell. We're going to talk to the New Jersey Devils because Quinn Hughes, yeah. Maybe they want to move on from Quinn Hughes. IRL, he's not having the best rookie season, but you should never judge an 18, 19-year-old like that early in his career. Sometimes you're never going to be Connor McDavid. Rarely. I'm sorry if I keep calling him Panarin. I don't know why I have Panarin on the mind. Two words that start with the letter P. And we can still do that. Pasternak for Hughes. But they need to retain. If they retain half his salary, I'll do the trade straight up. You're like, Panarin, he's so good. Newman's ready to move up, and he's going to be just as good as Panarin Panarin, why do I keep doing that? Stop it. Pasternak. Jeez Louise, I'm so sorry. Pasta. I would hate to move on from Pasta so soon. You guys might be like, what are you doing? Okay, let's look at Newman. Newman's an 84 overall, 20 years of age. He's going to be as good as Pasternak. Right, we got Pasternak to make us a better team. Okay, and Quinn Hughes might be that guy. They're getting the better player. He's 28, $11 million. We get Jack Hughes. Newman's gonna be just as good as him. They're the same kind of player. Give him a shot. He's gonna be a 40, 50 goal scorer in this league. He's gonna move up to the second line. We have to make room. I would do that trade straight up. No, but trade rejected. Okay, they probably want. You know what? Well, we want you to retain half that salary, but we will throw in a first. The 30th overall pick. How much are we gonna have to go down? We'll go down to 4. We're gonna try everything. 4. Rejected. Okay. We'll go down to 3.6. Trade rejected. Okay. 3 mil flat. Rejected. Let's go down to 2.5. Oh, I have a feeling they don't want this trade to go through. Okay. Oh my God, we just got it. Oh Jesus. You guys might be screaming at the screen right now, but I think we'd made the right move. I said I didn't want to make groundbreaking moves, but that's where we lacked. Our second line center had been iffy all year. Malkin only playing like 57 games. Malkin's going to be gone. Newman's going to move up. Our top 6 is looking fantastic. I thought, let's make some room. We get Jack Hughes. We reunite the brothers, and he's 88 overall. He wasn't happy in New Jersey. They were coming from a position where they didn't have a weakness at center. They had Yoshimura. They had Everberg. They were fine. But that still opens up the possibility of that Lucas Raymond trade. We're getting things done this episode, folks. Now let's see if they're still up for that trade. Detroit, come on, Detroit. Detroit's doing the trade, which means Lucas Raymond, we're moving on from you, bud. I'm so sorry we have to do this to you. We get their first next year, which could turn out to be a lottery. You never know. They might be a good team. Lucas Raymond, we've talked enough about you, man. We might even get a top-tier prospect right now. I am not a fan. You know, we gave him time. You know, his minutes went down every season, but you could say this is his best season ever. 30 points as a 22-year-old sniper. We moved him into center. You could say that. We have to strike while the iron is hot. We do. That is just the truth. It's just the truth. Because his trade value could just drop down immediately. We're trading him to Detroit. He's going to have a fantastic career with Detroit. We signed him to a great contract, which means Detroit would be willing to give up that kind of... We signed him to an 8-year, like, $2 million contract. We're helping out Detroit. That trade just makes sense for Detroit. They're putting all their eggs into one basket. I mean, they took Parise from us. They've done us enough favors, really. But this just makes sense. We have to make this team better right now. I'm willing to do that trade straight up. Thank you for your services. We got to the Cup Finals, but it's time for you to go, man. So we acquired Detroit's first round pick this year. We shall have the 18th and 22nd, and we have their first round draft pick next year. And we get the Gruy prospect, 23 years of age, could be a good trade asset in the very near future. Quinn Hughes and Jack Hughes, gotta love the brothers, bud. I know we just traded away Pasternak, but... Heiskanen. Oh, top 6. Okay, so we might not even get the... We got Potvin! It happened! Maurice Potvin is gonna be a Minnesota Wild. We're doing that right now. We just got a top tier... What? Boston? Are you stupid? This guy might even he's gonna replace Matthew Dumba. I'm a genius. This draft has been so good. I'm a genius. He's 77 overall. Oh. Hell yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. Yes. We're making things. We're doing things. Everything is good. So we still have the 18th and 22nd. Not sure what falls around there. 18th and 22nd. 18th, I want to get Chubasov because Chubasov is a beauty. 18th and 27th, 22nd, sorry. 18th and 22nd. So we're going to need a few guys. Chubasov, yeah, I want to get Chubasov. And there's not too many guys around that place that I'm super interested in. We might just flip that pick for something. But let's see what went around here in the top 10. So obviously we made a bunch of trades. We had the busiest draft. Prince goes to Arizona. Then you got Bonino, Furland. You don't have a lot of top tier prospects this year. Finaginov, McClellan, Price, Walls, Eakin. Eakin's a good pick. Spalling, Pettinger, Maurice, McGuire. Why did I say Maurice? I saw M and I'm like, Maurice! Okay. So, 3-year TA similar to Zdeno Chara. Hold on. Montreal wants to make a trade. I could move that 22nd down. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and trade for that Montreal pick. And try to get both these players back to back. Because I like the defenseman. I feel like he's going to be a top 4 guy because we haven't seen anything like that so far. And that pick is at 61st, so we can get that goalie. And I will trade you. How do you want Detroit's 3rd next year? Montreal accepts the trade. I think we make out like bank robbers. So Stefan Backer. Let's take you with the 18th overall pick, 65 overall. I think that trade makes sense. We get a valuable asset who can play AHL minutes pretty soon. He's a big boy, 6'4", 207 pounds, 18, beauty. We're also gonna get Chubasov. I feel like he's gonna be in the 60 range. He's a playmaker, A+ competition, 3 years, similar to Trevor Linden. Only had 3 points in 48 games in Russia this year, but also a big boy. Let's get him on. 64 overall. So we get 2 really solid prospects. 3 in the first round. Absolute fantastic first round so far. It's been a great draft, and I'm just going to keep simming along. I have no other trades in mind to make as it currently stands. I think this has been one of our most productive drafts. As you can see right there, Mar went, and then it kind of drops off right there. You get a lot of top 6s. You get a low elite, and Kakinen, or Lakinen. It started with an L, and it's Lakinen. So it's a weird mix of prospects this year. A few really awesome ones. You got Hickey, and then goes back to top 6s. There's a few weird picks this year. It's an okay draft. I've seen better ones, but I'm not so sure. You got the Briere. Okay. So I want to go. Is there any players that interest me right now? Not really. Anybody scouted that I'm interested in? We got Rensfeldt. We got Curry, who would fall right at our pick, at our next pick. We got. Is there a top 6 that we didn't? Oh, was that guy drafted by Boston? I'm pretty sure he was. Okay, so I think we're going to go with the goalie right now. You know what? I would trade down for more assets, but we've done a bunch of that this episode. So, Rensfeldt, welcome to the club. He's 60 overall? This draft! What a draft! Oh my god! It only gets better, folks! Oh my god, he's 19, he's an overager, but that's 60 overall. High elite, our goaltending system is fantastic. I'm freaking out. I'm having a... I'm okay, guys. 95th overall pick. It's actually in the 4th... It's in the 4th round? Apparently, I'm not good at math. Okay, what did we miss there in the 2nd round? We didn't miss the best goalie. The best goalie in the draft so far. Weight goes... Okay, there's a few low potentials here. Nothing super special. Got a high fringe. It's an iffy draft. I'm so glad we don't have an abundance of picks this year. I mean, like the first few years, but definitely deeper drafts before. We've definitely gotten some of the best talent. You got a defenseman in Petrovic. Few awesome picks. Nothing out of the ordinary. But we have the other, and Curry. Let's go with Pete Curry. Let's see if we can go 5 for 5. Oh my god! What is this draft? This is the best draft I have ever had. This is the best. Everything is going well. Everything's going so well. And I'm so scared. It's gonna be a bad season next year. I can already see. I've gotten too much luck this episode. 49 overall. Dude was like 18. Pete Curry, is he 18? Tell me he's 18. Tell me he's 18. He's 18 and he's a right winger. Oh, baby. I'm not usually great at drafting forwards in the later rounds, but Pete Curry is an absolute beauty. I'm so glad we picked him. Absolute beauty, but now we're here and I'm not sure who to pick. Do we have any gems? I doubt we have anybody super awesome to go after. So, you know what? I think these next few picks are just going to be whatever. So, you know, we got this top-rated guy in Tikhonov. We got Sean Mills, 20. And we got Tikhonov. I'm not liking either of them. We got this projected low elite guy in Dustin Howes. Let's go with him. Let's see. Let's see if he's any good. Low top 9. Whatever. It happens. See, we're usually getting the best talent out of each of these rounds, which is awesome. What did we miss here? What did we miss here in the... Did we not have a 5th round draft pick? Oh, goalie, Shields, okay. So a few solid picks here and there. Few solid picks, slow starter. Okay. Okay. I saw Sundin. Absolute beauty. Minnesota. Minnesota. What do we feel like right now? What do we... Braden Ramjahasig. Let's go with him. Let's go. Bottom 6. You know what? You can't win them all. You cannot win them all. I'm doubting the Islanders had a great pick last round. Conley. Let's go with a goalie this round, because goalies are always great when you pick them. Okay. Oh my. Okay, so nothing great here in the 7th round. Is that surprising to anybody? Let's go with the goalie. Corvo. Okay. I'd rather go with a guy... He's 18, 5-year ETA. Is there a guy here with the weird ETA? A wacky ETA? Cashman. Caden Cashman. You got a Filatov. A+ comp. I'm going to go with Filatov just because I can. Filatov. Backup goalie. You know what? I know these from round like 4 to 7 wasn't the best of picks. But from round 1 to the first pick we had in round number 4 was the best draft, I would say, we ever had in franchise history. I know we picked Francis a few years ago, but considering we didn't know anything about those players, we got the trades done. We got Jack Hughes. We combined the brothers. They are back. They're going to live together. It's going to be great. We're going to go out and win a Stanley Cup next year. Write it down. Okay, but it's a long off season. There's a lot of problems we have to discuss. We got rid of Lucas Raymond. You can debate the Pasternak trade. I know they got the better player. Jack Hughes didn't want to be there. They had a plethora of centermen. I wouldn't have done it if they didn't have so many centermen, but he was a strong point on that team, as in they had so many of him. But I think it was the best draft we've ever had. And you can agree with me. If you don't, whatever. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment, share with people who you think may enjoy this sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.